Bonjour mes amis, ça va aujourd'hui? Bien, j'espère. Yay, it's tennis season. Roland Garros has been on all week. It's wonderful. I've hardly seen a single game. I haven't had time, but I have been listening. So, I'm happy. My head is full of French words and that makes me exceedingly happy. So here we are at the end of May and my goodness, what a long, busy, physically exhausting month it's been. I don't remember it being this tiring last year. I don't know. It's interesting. So many of my friends who either are professional gardeners or who garden as sort of intensively as I do, we're all saying the same thing. Thank goodness it's the end of May. Thank goodness all that work is behind us. It has been, it's been really, really quite an effort. And it has pretty much taken over everything else. So I reckon over the last month, I've probably been in the garden, I'd say 4 days a week over May. And most of those sessions have been sort of 5 or 6 hours. Obviously on the days when I film, that day is much longer because then I come home and I edit and I upload the videos and then I comment back and forth with folk. So those days can easily end up being a sort of a 14, 16 hour day. Bonkers crazy. And the days when I'm not gardening, I am having most days to get down there to do the watering, which easily takes up a little 2 hour chunk of my time every evening. So again, it just feels like the garden has massively taken over in May. And it was something I started to talk about in one of my videos, I think only a couple of videos back, about how maybe what I need to do is to rethink my whole year to make sure that I'm pretty much free. Sorry, excuse me. Make sure I'm free of other commitments, etc. during May so that I can focus on the garden, get everything done I need to do and not feel pressurised by time and thinking, well, I need to leave the garden because I've got something else to do, but I haven't finished in the garden, so that means I'm going to have to come back to the garden. And that all got me thinking, actually, about my routine and just sort of having a routine in my life. Because I think it's been the biggest learning curve these last 2 years is that I simply no longer have any sort of routine whatsoever. And I like routine. I'm definitely a person that needs routine. And I don't mean that in a way to sort of, that can sound that it's got a bit of a negative connotation. I'm really tired. It can have a bit of a negative connotation that sort of, oh, you have your routine, you're boring, you're predictable, that sort of thing. I don't mean it in that way. I mean it more as a sort of a structure to just live within. I'll give you an example. Actually, no, never mind giving an example. I'll tell you why it's important to me. When I don't have a routine, I find that all those other little things, they're constantly in my head. And it's such an energy drain. So when I'm in the garden, I do find that I can be in the moment. Oh, thank goodness, it's pretty much the only place. So when I'm in the garden, I get stuck in with whatever job I'm doing and I love it. Because I've got a little list, I kind of know what I'm going to get up to that day. It's great. I just get involved. It's wonderful. But outside of the garden, I find myself not quite a headless chicken, but because I'm always thinking about, when am I going to do this? When am I going to do that? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I doing tomorrow? It just goes around and round and round, and it just sucks the energy out of me. And I can't stand it. It's a waste of energy and a waste of time. So yeah, I've been kind of reflecting on that quite a lot in the last few days. So that, I mean, you know me well enough by now. If I identify a problem like that, if I start to worry about something, or not even worry about it, but if I'm thinking about it, I try to put my finger on, what is it that's bothering me? How can I fix it? So yeah, the last couple of days, thinking a lot about this kind of subject of routine. And I was thinking back to my old acting days and thinking, well, you know, when I was a peripatetic actress, when I was on tour, even as a touring actress, I had a really good, solid routine. So, for example, let's say I had a week performing at the Theatre Royal down in Bath. So Monday morning, set off from London, get down to Bath, find my digs, dump my stuff at the digs, go straight over to the theatre, find my dressing room, set my dressing room up as I like it. So I know where everything is, it's comfortable, it's me for the week, because that's going to be my home from home for the week. So I get my little dressing room set up, probably go and spend some time on the stage, just get a feel for that stage, for the auditorium, just get a feel for the sound, how much am I going to have to project, how big is the theatre, that sort of thing. Get all that done, back to my digs, unpack, make my room nice, because again, home from home for the week, back to the theatre in the evening, do the first show. By the Tuesday, I would have time to go out into whichever town I'm in, for example, Bath, go and find the supermarket, stock up on my food for the week, get that back to my digs, etc. Wednesday is always matinee day, so 2 performances. I don't do much else on a Wednesday apart from focus on my 2 shows. Thursday, I used to love Thursdays. Thursdays was my arts and culture day. So whichever town or city I was in, I'd go out, I'd look around for a museum or gallery, whatever, sort of something historical, something cultural within that city, and, you know, just have a nice explore. Friday was always a kind of quiet down day of either reading, writing letters, being away from home so much. I used to write a lot of letters. This is in the days before I had a computer, certainly before I had internet or anything like that. So I used to handwrite letters. Saturday is a matinee day again, so 2 shows, but Saturday morning I always did my laundry because I don't want to be taking all my dirty washing back to London. Get the 2 Saturday shows done. Sunday morning, on a train, back to London, get home to my flat in London, open the mail, listen to the answering machine, answering machines, and generally in the evening or the afternoon, meet up with friends, just chill out, get myself ready for Monday morning to do it all over again to a different city. So I had this really nice routine that meant I was never having to think about those things. It's just, or should I say, I was never having to plan those things because they were just part of a routine. So I could just glide through each week. It was great. And like I say, it wasn't predictable and boring. I'm not regimented. I think that's one of the other negative connotations to routine, is that you become very regimented in how you do things. It's not about being regimented. It's about having a clear structure within which you're free to just be. Even when I was nursing, the shift pattern is never the same from one week to the next. But every week after my last shift of that week, whether it was a night shift and I was coming home at 10 in the morning, or a day shift and I was coming home at 10 at night, I would come home, first thing I would do, stick all the laundry on, pardon me, while the laundry was happening, clean the flat, tidy the flat, deal with any correspondence, any bills, what have you. By the time I've done all that, the washing's finished, hang it up to dry, go to bed. Brilliant. And then the next day, when I wake up, I don't have to think about any of that. I'm free to either go off and see my great aunt or have some time in the garden. So yeah, even with that kind of massively mixed bag of shifts as a nurse, still had a bit of structure to my week. So yeah, I was thinking, why Delilah, why have I got no structure? Why have I got no routine? I've talked about it before, and in terms of my time management, and I've tried to do that thing of saying, for example, Monday is a garden day, Tuesday is a day for my shop and all my admin, Wednesday and Thursday are sewing days, Friday and Saturday are garden days again, Sunday is my day for cleaning, tying up loose ends, or visiting with my great aunt. It just doesn't work. It does not work. And I've realised why. I've so realised why. It takes me a while, but I do get there. I've been trying to have a routine or a structure that's based around a week. The thing with the garden though is, and this is how I need to change the way I think, the structure, the routine, it needs to be much broader. It needs to be based on a whole year rather than 1 week. Because there are going to be times which are manic busy in the garden, like May has been. September, October, November are always really busy. That's when the big harvests are starting to come in. It's all the tomato bottling. I empty the beds, I prep them for winter. It's busy. But then you think about it, in December and January, there's really not much to do out there. Really very little at all. And over the last 2 years, all the kind of the infrastructures for the garden are now done. The shed got completely finished, my deck and fence area got done, my herb bed got dug out and it's pretty much established now. So all those little things that I have previously done during winter, I don't have them to do anymore. So yes, it's been I'm still thinking about it and thinking how this will work. But like I said, rather than thinking in terms of 1 week at a time, I kind of do need to think about the whole year, so that all the other stuff I do in life, I try and get those things by the beginning of May, try to get my table cleared, as it were, so that I can just focus on the garden and doing a bit of YouTube, of course, and normal life stuff. But yeah, I think what I've realised over May is the garden is a full-time job. There's no two ways about it. It's a full-time job. YouTube is getting on for being in a full-time job. It's probably about 20 hours a week of my time that it takes up. So the garden and YouTube combined are probably at the moment adding up to about 40 to 50 hours a week. So to try on top of that to be a full-time sewing machine person, there's no way. Then on top of that, obviously the shop, because with the shop it does take quite a bit of time, because I spend time out going out and looking for stock. Then the stock comes home, everything has to be cleaned, washed, pressed, whatever. Then everything has to be weighed, measured, catalogued, photographed, uploaded. That's at least 1 full day a week. Anyway, so I feel like I'm waffling on now. The point is this. I know for myself that I need routine, and I know that I've been lacking that, and that kind of wastes my time and energy. So it is something I need to look at and work out more how I'm gonna do that going forward. You know, it's interesting, when I first stopped work, I had loads of messages from people who'd recently retired, for example. So obviously I'm not retired, I haven't retired, I don't have a pension, so I am still working, working way too much. But there are similarities in terms of managing your own time. And so many people way back 2 years ago said it will take you ages to get used to managing your own time. It's such a massive change. Don't expect to sort of find your feet with it in the next 6 months, 12 months. You were all so correct. But like I say, I think in terms of the next year, because I've got all the little departments of my life set up nicely now: the garden, YouTube and social media, the shop and my website, the sewing, both to make bunting for the shop, but also the sewing I'm doing privately. All those things are in place now. Like I say, all the infrastructure for the garden, that's all in place now. So in theory, I should now be able to, having done all those things, sorry, my mind's all over the place today. With the shop and the sewing, that's only been over sort of the last year or so. But having now had a full year of doing all 4 things, I can now get a sense of the ebb and flow of the year as a whole, when certain things are busier than others, when some things are less busy. So, in theory, for this next year coming, I should be able to manage things better and manage them in such a way that I can give myself a little bit of routine, and even something like a day off. This is really outrageous, and I've given myself a massive telling off about this already, but so far in 2019 I haven't had a day off, which is ridiculous, and it's not sustainable. I know that, I absolutely know that, so please don't any of you tell me off. I've already told myself off. I know that that's not sustainable. The fact is, when you live a frugal life, when you live without a wage, everything takes longer, so there is less free time. But I know that I absolutely have to make at least one day a month a totally free day. I don't know if that's going to happen in June. Maybe, I hope so. There's still so much to do in the garden. But my birthday is in early July, so I've already told myself, whatever else happens on your birthday, you're doing no work. I'll go to the garden, probably, but I'll probably just go there to sit and smile and enjoy myself. So yeah, there we go. That's the sort of thing that's been mulling through my mind in this last few weeks. And that was my tummy gurgling. Yeah, it's all about balance, isn't it? Balance, priorities. But I do believe that can all be worked within a routine. So, watch this space. Let's see if I manage to work something out. I'm sure I will. Anyway, it's just a real quickie today because I'm still so, ridiculously, madly, truly, deeply busy. I haven't been in the garden for about 5 days now to do any gardening. I've been each day to water, but I haven't done any gardening at all. I'm hoping for another full day tomorrow, which means today I can focus on the sewing machine. You can't see it, but out of the corner of my eye, there's fabric and webbing just absolutely everywhere, because I'm working really, really hard on the bunting at the moment, which I will hopefully have in the shop. I'm thinking mid-June. I'm thinking in about 2 weeks' time I can have the first lot on sale, and then over the course of the summer I'm just going to keep making and keep adding it to the shop, because I know there's loads of you who have been nagging me in the nicest possible way to get on with it because you want to buy some, which is really, really brilliant. Thank you. So yes, a quickie today. I'm going to put the radio on, I'm going to listen to the tennis as I sew, and yeah, enjoy myself. And you know what? Itchy snozzle, and there's not even a cat in the room. Whenever I muse like this, none of it is ever meant to come over as a complaint or a whinge or self-pity. It's purely me sort of expressing the kind of stuff that goes on in my mind. And like I say, if something's bothering me, I try to work it out. So I'm not complaining at all about my lack of routine. I'm just thinking I would like some routine. That's all. So yeah, no complaints. The fact that I can spend all day sewing and listening to tennis, I feel very, very lucky to be in a position to do that. So yeah, no complaints from me. Anyway, shut up, Vivi, get sewing. Right, for now, it's cheerio. I hope you are all well. I hope for those of you, because I know there's tons of you who are really, really busy gardeners, I hope that by now, where are you? It's the 31st of May. I hope that by now your gardens are pretty much sorted. I know we're all going to have a little bit of tinker time in the first week of June, but I hope by and large your gardens are sorted so you can start to think about doing other things again, other than mucking about in the soil. Oh my goodness me. So next time I see you, it will be back in the garden. I'm not sure what I'll be doing. Oh yeah, I know what I'll be doing. You'll have to wait and see what that is. So until then, please take care of yourselves, stay well, enjoy the tennis if you're also a tennis fan. Whatever you're up to, however messy your structure and your routine is, just have fun doing it. Carpe diem. I will see you all again really soon. Bye for now.